Ladies and gentle sippers, welcome. I'm trying it out. I don't know if that works, but you got to try these things. Welcome to this episode of the Tea with Me podcast. I hope you have your tea in hand, like myself. I hope that's all you have in your hand, by the way, because I know some people get really excited for this podcast. I'm drinking out of my Belfast Blues mug, which Belfast Blues was, of course, the web series that me and my friend Aaron Butler made. Shout out to my man Aaron Butler. We made it. We loved it. You guys did no love it. We had a great time making that, and at the time we were thinking, if people like this half as much, if people get as much fun out of watching this as we had making it, we'll be on to a winner. And you didn't have half as much fun watching it as we did making it, but look, you got to learn. You got to learn from your mistakes. What am I not allowed to make a mistake? Oh, because you're all perfect. Uh huh. Sitting there with your big pancake heads. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm enjoying that tea. That's my first cup of tea of the day. My first of many. First of many. I think because I people will know that people know I do this podcast. I think people will start to really start associating me with tea, and it will get to the point where it's a hindrance to my life. You know, I think I'll be in cafes and restaurants, and people will be like, "Here, send a tea over to that fella. Tell him I sent it." You know, and I'll just be in cafes, and I already have tea, but the waitress will come over and go, "That's from the that's from the gentleman at the bar there in the windbreaker," and I look over and it's just a 50-year-old guy going, you know. But I think I'll be happy enough. I think I'll be happy enough with that. So I had a big day yesterday because I went out. There you go. I went out. I ventured away from my home because I had a hospital appointment. And it was weird because I didn't know. So essentially, to provide you with a bit of background, I get infusions every 8 weeks. And infusions definitely does sound like a really cool indie band from about, I don't know, 2006. The infusions would definitely support the Pigeon Detectives. She's got everything he wants. She's got everything he needs. Take her back to your place. That was a weird song, The Pigeon Detectives. I think it was a song about a pedo. She's not sure what he should do. She's 17, he's 22. Does that make a difference? Does that make a difference? Yeah, but let me get the lyrics of that song up, because I think we missed a lot of warning signs in that. Pigeon, like, why were they not reporting this guy? Pigeon Detectives, take her back lyrics. By the way, how good was music around that era? You know, when there was like, after Britpop, there was like a second thing of British indie bands that was like the Pigeon Detectives, The Enemy, Scouting for Girls. Well, Scouting for Girls weren't that cool, but I liked them because they were really silly. I think that you are beautiful. She's so lovely. Why? I think nowadays there's this thing in music and society where you're not allowed to like be a bit silly. You have to be like you don't care about things, because those bands were giving it everything. You know what I mean? Like they were going for it. Elvis ain't dead, but I wit like goodbye, Mr. A. You know, like those guys really, really went for it. And nowadays it's like mumble. You know, guys are like, I don't fuck. Like, that's rap nowadays. And I'm aware I'm an old guy saying that at 31, and I'm aware this isn't what I was planning to talk about. But the lyrics start like this: Pigeon Detectives, Take Her Back, which is from 2007. No, I think it was before that. Anyway, it says, he's not sure what he should do. She's 17, he's 22. Is that too much of a difference? I mean, yes. Yes, because she could be in lower sixth, and at 22, you could be a car salesman. Not sweet. I remember looking back whenever, I mean, people go, age is just a number. And you know who said that? R. Kelly. And you know what R. Kelly was? A dirty bastard. Okay, he's a dirty... I want to say R. Kelly, I mean the rapper. I don't mean R. Kelly as in like a relative of mine. That's R. Kelly over there, so it is. Bumping and grinding away, but... Sorry if people don't like the noise of me drinking, but you know, fuck off, it's my podcast. But Yeah, 1722. I mean, I don't know. Because I remember whenever I was in, I don't know if I mentioned this in the podcast before, when I was in P7, right? And for all our foreign listeners, or as he's known, Jesus, you know, when you're in P7, that's like primary seven. You're about 11 years old, I think. You're about 11. So when I was in P7, I was going steady. I was going out with a girl that was in P6. Now, that at the time was totally grand, and I don't need to justify it, and I don't know why I'm sweating, but I was 11. She was also the same age as me, but in a different year, because I was one of the youngest in my year. And by the way, that's such a defensive thing to say. No, Your Honour. See, here's it. No, no, no. Listen to me. I am young from a year, and she is old for her year. And the judge is like, yeah, but there was 25 years between you. No, I went out with a girl that was in P6 when I was in P7, and that was fine. Like that was totally like, there was a couple of guys in P7. Like, you're like, he's like, got any girlfriends in P5, and you're going, hey, what? But the thing was, it was all good up until, and we weren't serious. You know what I mean? I don't think I ever spoke to her like face to face. We spoke through different people. You know, I'd be like, listen, go and give her this message. Tell her that I think her trainers are like her wee jelly shoes are so sweet. And then she'd come back. Her mate would come back and tell my mate and be like, his blonde peroxide flick, his fringe is looking unreal. But it was totally fine. I don't know how long we went out for. You know, it's just a silly like child. I was about to say child relationship. Bear in mind, I also was a child, but it was fine up until the next year, that summer after P7, because I was then in first form of big school and she was in P7. But so even though we were the same age, if we had like met up after school, you know, like me and my mates will meet up with you and your mates, and then like maybe I'd like walk with her, you know, like I'll walk you to your house or whatever, and you're not even talking, you know what I mean? You're like, you're not, it's not a proper relationship, but at the time you think it is. Here's the weird thing about it, and why like I don't think it could go any further, because I was in first year of big school, so I'm wearing like a straight up suit. You know, that's a way for some reason, and it's taken me lockdown to figure out that this is weird. Like, why do we make kids from the age of 11 upwards dress in like, as like, you know, businessmen and businesswomen? Because I was wearing like a full suit. You know, so if I met up with her, I'm wearing like the dark trousers, the white shirt, the tie, the blazer. You know, I look like a miniature businessman. You know, people might have looked at me and gone like, hey, people go, he's a very, very short lawyer. You know, that's the way, because I had a briefcase as well in school. So I was the original briefcase wanker. I didn't have a briefcase, right? I had a National Backpack Association backpack. Shout out all the guys with good posture. But how about at the time when everyone had National backpacks, and everyone's like, that's so fucking weird, because we have like Nike and Adidas, and there was like 4 complete nerds with National Backpack Association backpacks, and they were always like, we'll have the last laugh, and you're like, the fuck are you talking about? And now you see these guys bolt upright, you know what I mean? Like, we'll all be 70, and I go, I used to go to school, we used to have the National Backpack Association backpack, and the guy go, yeah man, look at this, perfect capital I, you know, the guy's just like straight up, and we're all slouched. Anyway, if we met up whenever I was in P7, I was in first year and she was in P7, I'm wearing the full businessman outfit. I'm mature. I'm a different level. It looked weird because she was still wearing the primary school outfit. Like she had like the trousers were the same, you know, like plain grey trousers. But then our primary school was just like a jumper with like Comic Sans font. You know, like the primary school name and the wee logo. So it just wasn't a good look. You know, some people might have been looking at us and been like, oh, she has a very, very small father. You know, so it just had to be knocked in the head. But yeah, the Pigeon Detectives. Yeah, man, there's pretty weird lyrics for sure. And listen, if anybody is listening or watching and going, can you explain more about this situation? It was fine, okay? Don't worry about it. It was put to an end, but it was just weird that the uniforms were different. All right, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I might speak to my lawyer, but we'll leave it at that. But yeah, there was this, I don't know how I got onto the Pigeon Detectives, but there was this class thing of music around, I'm going to say like 2002, 2003, the Hoosiers, The Enemy. You remember them? You're not alone, you know. I went to search that on Apple Music recently because I wanted to listen to music from that Hard-Fi. Oh, remember that? Oh, Hard-Fi. Do you remember Hard-Fi? Can you feel it? Rocking the city. Oh, yeah. Hard to beat. That was really good. I mean, and it was hard to beat. But I don't know what that genre of music is called. So if somebody can tell me, please let me know. Oh yeah, this all started because I went out yesterday, and that's what lockdown does to you. You know, your brain scrambled. I went out yesterday, and all I wanted to do was quickly tell you about it. So I had to go to hospital for my infusion. That's how I started it. Because I said the Infusion sound like a band that would support the Pigeon Detectives, and that also is true, and everybody knows it's true. But I went out yesterday. Had to go to the Royal, had to go to hospital, to get my infusion, and I didn't know if it would be on or not. But they were like, no, it's business as usual, but you're in a different building this time. And I didn't get off to a good start because the woman on the phone specifically phoned me to say it's in a new building. Do you know where that building is? And I went, yes, and she said, brilliant. I can explain where it is in the hospital. And I said, don't worry about it. I know it. Here's the thing. I didn't know it. I did not know it. And I parked in the wrong car park, and I had to walk just a wee bit too far. And halfway there, I was thinking, should I go back and get my car and move it to this car park that is beside the building that it is in? And then I thought, no, because probably when I walk back and then drive around, it'll be longer. So it wasn't off to a good start. But then whenever I got in, here's the thing. It's almost like a bit eerie around hospitals that aren't COVID hospitals, I'm sure, because it's like it's quiet. You know what I mean? Like people are, because you normally see two things at hospitals. You see people like porters going about the place, and then you also see people chain smoking, and none of those were happening. So I was like, I don't know what the setup is here, because it was in a temporary building, or like the infusion suite was moved into a temporary place. And you know the way we have this thing of, and I do it as well, I newfound respect for the NHS. Like I was going to say I've always respected the NHS. That made me sound like one of those people who, when you mention a band, goes, man, I was into them before they were signed. Oh, mate, the NHS, yeah, I have all their demos. But because I've benefited from it, and I've got great care from the NHS and family that are doctors and stuff, I think the NHS are great. But yesterday when I went for this, they just go up a level for me, because I'm seeing with my own eyes how great it is. So basically, to go and get an infusion, I've Crohn's disease, right, which is I think it's like an autoimmune disorder that affects the digestive tract. Now, I've had it for about 6 years, and only today have I successfully been able to describe what it is. So Crohn's, very quickly, is like, it's on a spectrum. So you can have a very mild or very, very aggressive. Luckily, up until now, who knows what happens in the future, but I've had it very mild compared to most people. As long as my diet's good and my lifestyle's good, like I'm getting enough sleep and stuff, it's all fine. But I have to go and get this infusion for this drug that kind of just, I think does it suppress my immune system? I genuinely don't know, and I don't know what it's called, because I showed up to get it yesterday, and the wee man went, what are you here for? And I said, an infusion. He said, of what? And I went, I'm not too sure. He goes, is this your first time getting it? And I went, no. And he goes, but then, he being polite, he goes, but how do you not know what it is? And I said, I don't know, they just put it in me. And he said, what does it begin with? And I said, in something. He went, okay, I know what it is. That's fine. Just take a seat. And then I think he thought maybe there was going to be a guardian. You know what I mean? Like someone had driven me to the hospital and all. But then I was like, no, actually, I just don't really know what it is. And he goes, the drug. And I was like, and also Crohn's disease. I don't know how to describe it to people. I don't know what it is. I just feel sicky boo-boo sometimes. I get cramps in my stomach. And that's my main side effect, cramps in the stomach. And I get really tired. And mummy just needs to have a lie down. But see the NHS people, they just get on with it. They just go, here's the crack. We're moving this whole suite down the road. half a mile down the road in hospital, and we've got a wee bit of PPE on, but we're just going to chat to you normally, and we're just going to get you sorted. And I was having great crack with all the nurses that were there. We're chatting away. They're full of life. They're funny. We're chatting about. You start off making small talk. Of course, the roads are a bit quiet, aren't they? Oh, aye, they're very quiet. But it was like this all the time. And then we just started talking. Like a couple of the guys had seen some of my videos before, and we were chatting about that. Also, there's a really awkward moment where one of the nurses said, "What's your name again, sorry?" And I said, "Shane." And she said, "Shane what?" And I said, "Shane Todd." And she went, "Oh, she goes, I do I know you?" And I went, I said, I was nearly going to say, "Do you not know who I am?" And she thought I was being serious, and she goes, "Oh, no, I do know who you are." And I went, No, I was joking. I presume that you don't know who I am. And she goes, "But I do know who you are." And I was like, "I know, but I was just I was being deprecating to myself, but it maybe doesn't work because you do know who I am." But it was great. It was great. We were just chatting away, and everybody in there seemed to be like in good form, even though it's it's weird to go to hospital to get hooked up to a drip for an hour and a half anyway and just sit there. But under these circumstances, I thought everybody would be a bit jumpier and a bit nervous. But you're just in a building full of people who are like, "Look, this is the situation. Let's just get on with it." And amazing what those what those medical staff do. Like people always say with stand up, right? People go, "Mate, I couldn't do that there." No, you know what we all couldn't do? Of people who don't do it, we couldn't be like medical staff. We couldn't work in hospitals and do that. We just don't have it. See, stand up, you could do it to some degree. Like it's not that impressive. It's cool, but it's not that impressive. And whenever I was leaving yesterday, so I go in for my infusion, an hour and a half. I feel good. I eat 2 oranges during it. We're buzzing. I write a bit of stand-up for the first time since lockdown started. I've been writing videos. I've been doing bits and pieces. But I actually, because I know I've got to sit for an hour and a half, I write stand-up. And I write this bit that it's bittersweet because I'm so buzzing that I'm writing stand-up again. And I think this is like a really good, we call them bits. So a bit is like a joke or some material on the one subject. I got this bit and there was this, I like slapped my leg whenever I went, "That's the one," whenever I finished writing it. And then there was that sense of, but I've nowhere to do it. I was really sad because I was like, normally if I write a bit of material, I go, okay, wait, say it's a Wednesday, I go, right, what's the next gig? All right, there's a gig tomorrow night in Pug Uglies. Maybe Dave will let me do, of course he will, maybe Dave will let me do 5 minutes and I can try this bit. But it's frustrating now in a way because, and hey, there's way more bigger frustrations in the world, but now I was frustrated that I couldn't do stand-up before, but now I'm frustrated because I'm writing the stand-up and I have no outlet for it. But it'll eventually be okay. It'll eventually be alright. But the funny thing was, whenever I walked out of hospital yesterday, I was like, "Guys, thanks very much." I was nearly going to say, "Keep up the good work" or something like that, but I couldn't think of a line without it maybe sounding like I'd planned it in advance. "Hey guys, not all heroes wear capes," alright? And I would have meant it, but I just couldn't think of what to say. But I was like, "Alright guys, cheers, see you later, thanks for the help." And there was a lovely nurse working on reception, and as I walked out, she said, your videos are really keeping everybody going. We need comedy at a time like this, and you're doing great work. And I went, thanks for saying so, appreciate it, see you later. And when I walked out, I realised, hey, maybe it's them that's doing the good work, But the worst thing is, I took it, I was like, "Hey, cheers, thanks, glad someone said it," and I'm looking around at a team of people who are going into a place of work where this disease that everyone is being told how, rightfully so, like how dangerous it is. They go to work there where that is, and they're so what's the word? They're just so heroic that they they probably do in a way, but it's almost like they don't realize. It's almost like they're just like, I'm just going to work. This is just what I do, and I thought that was incredible. Because they're like, hey, we need a good laugh at the minute, and I'm like, you know what, we need more. What it is that you guys do, all right. But it was great to get out. Even though it was to hospital, it was just class to like drive down to Belfast and just see things again. Looking up at the balls in the falls and what am I like? There she is. All right, love. But it was fun, which is a weird thing to say about going to get treatment for Crohn's disease. I said treatment there, which might have made it sound like cream. Just to let everybody know, I don't get cream for Crohn's disease, because there will be people watching going, I have it and we don't get cream, so you probably need to switch up your treatment or do something else, because you don't get a bit. I put a wee bit of cream on my nose. Does that not help my digestive disease? No. But yeah, and I put a picture up yesterday basically being like, on Instagram, like, shout out to the NHS staff who are literally keeping us hooked up, and it was hilarious because it was hooked up to a drip at the same time. And I think a lot of people thought that I had just been admitted to hospital in an emergency situation, because people were like, hey man, are you okay? Like, got a few texts, couple of comedians, some friends being like, mate, is everything alright? Just see you're in hospital. So yeah, and anybody that was concerned, your boy's good. He just gets this infusion to keep him looking like a 21-year-old Tommy Hilfiger model. And that is legitimate fact. Like, for some reason, since lockdown, I look younger. What? Why do I look like a 19-year-old guy from the 40s? I don't know. Why do I look like a 19-year-old guy from the 1940s? Who's in some sort of... I look like a guy now playing a guy from the 40s in a film about the Second World War. And that's just the way it is. I can't describe it. I went in yesterday to hospital. They went, have you been okay since your last appointment? And I said, well, the thing is, at my last appointment, I looked 31. And they went, and what does that mean? And I said, look at me. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, I look like a 16-year-old American high school athlete, like an all-American athlete. And they said, what does that mean? And I said, guys, we know exactly what it means. So I don't know. I'm looking younger. I'm wearing my hair to the other side. That's a big... This is content people tune in for. And I've got my quiff going over to the left, and that shocked a lot of people. I walked past a lot of people on my way into hospital yesterday, and they went, oh! And I said, yeah, deal with it. I'm over to the left now. And they went, no, we're doing that because it's because you're I don't think you realise, but your testicles have come out of your fly. And I went, oh, fair enough. And they said, but now you say it, hair to the left, bold move. And I said, that's what I do. That's what the man boy Cheeky does. He keeps people guessing the money toad. He keeps people on their toes. I had so much more. I have a wee whiteboard here because I have a real... just a newsflash for people. I have a scattergun brain. Did you not know that? Come on. And I've so much to get through, to chat about, but I just haven't had time for 25 minutes. I don't know what I've talked about, but I hope that you're enjoying this podcast, because I like doing the solo ones. I'm a big fan of doing the solo podcast. I think that's working for us at the minute, doing a guest podcast a week and a solo one. And exclusive, Sound the Cannons, my guest for next week's podcast. A lot of people asked for this, and we have delivered. Is going to be Jamie Lee O'Donnell from Derry Girls. By the way, her name isn't Jamie Lee O'Donnell. I just stuttered there. But Jamie Lee O'Donnell from Derry Girls. We've worked together on a BBC programme a couple of years ago, which we'll probably talk about. And I just want to chat to her about... Here's the thing with these podcasts. I say now, I want to chat to her about Derry Girls, the success of it. We probably won't. A bit like when Jamie Dornan was on, I wanted to chat to him about like his acting career and all. But we didn't. We just talked about silly things, and that's probably going to be the way this is. So I will be asking you for your questions for that podcast. But yeah, that's going to come out on Wednesday, and then next Friday it'll be another wee solo episode. So yeah, we've got what I'm going to do now for the rest of the podcast is listeners' questions, and I'm going to bring an old feature back from the Shane Toddcast days, TripAdvisor. So yeah, we've got that going. Sippers, let me interrupt the podcast for just 1 minute. Let me plug the Patreon, patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. That is where we bring out the bonus episode every Monday. Me and producer Dan link up for an episode. Sometimes they're 45 minutes long, an hour, sometimes more. Last week I didn't hit record and we had to do a different one, but that's all fine. It's fine. And has he spoken to me since? No, but things eventually will be okay. I'm only joking, he has spoken to me just to say, don't speak to me. So we got the Patreon episode. There's loads of other wee benefits over there, like we merchandise things and gig news, all that sort of thing. So that's patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. We have a charity read as well. So you can get in touch with the podcast, teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. And basically, whenever you do that, you can send us over charity appeals or anything like that, and we will read out as many of those as we can. Producer Dan has sent me one over. Where is it? Where are you, you little bagger? Producer Dan just forwarded this one on to me. This comes from the Community Rescue Service, CRS. I think we've done some stand-up stuff for them before. I think I'm right in saying Colin Geddes does a lot of stuff with these guys as well. It's a charitable search and rescue organisation operated by volunteers from communities across Northern Ireland. Recently, the organisation's been delivering the hero face shields across the country. So, look, you don't need me to tell you, you can hear from that. The work they do is incredible. These guys are brilliant people as well. We've done some gigs for them at Lavery's, I think, and they're volunteer based, so fair play to them. They definitely need your help at the minute though, so if you are in a position to maybe make a small donation or something like that, you can get in touch with them. communityrescue.org. They're doing some brilliant work at this difficult time, so do check them out. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, if you're a company, a business, or maybe just a really rich person who's like, I don't have a company, but I'll just sponsor it, and you can just like say my name, that would be so sweet. Like, we'd definitely be up for that. teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. We are looking for a sponsor, so get in touch if that could be you. Just before we get back into the pod, let me give a big shout out to the Patreon crew. Aaron, Adam, Andy, Ashley, Brian, Karis, Cormac, Dermot, Emma, Gary, Gemma, Joan, Johnny, Julie, Leanne, Matthew, Mick, Niall, Noel, Orla, Paul, Peggy, Peter, Rebus, Reese, Shane and Terry. There we go. And just to show that we give the podcast, the Patreons give a bit of cha-ching, a bit of financial support. Terry's one of the Patreons. Last week said, hey man, I'm on Patreon, I started my own podcast, will you do an episode? And what did this guy say? Rivet. Yes, I will. The money toad said yes, I will. So I really appreciate all the support we get from everybody on the Patreon. Back to the pod. On the second half of the podcast, what I was going to do is the TripAdvisor thing that we used to do in the Shane Tallcast. I'm probably not going to have time to do that because I want to keep these pods to an hour, and I want to be able to do listeners' questions and actually give it the time it deserves, because sometimes you throw up questions on this to get me talking for quite a minute or two. So I'll do the TripAdvisor one next week. We'll just put that on the back burner because the listeners come first, spelled obviously CUM. Okay, let me see. Where are we with the questions here? Let me see. Where do I do it here? Most of the questions came through on Instagram, by the way, so I'm just opening up Twitter first. One question on Twitter, sweet, and the person who wrote it has deleted it. That's class. That was worth the 48 seconds of my time it took to compose that tweet. But yeah, there's loads on Instagram. Okay. First question today comes from SJ McCall, who says, topic, most liked and hated things to come out of lockdown on social media. For example, TikTok. Well, you opened a can of worms there, my friend. I put out a tweet basically slagging off TikTok and the sort of people that use it, basically saying TikTok is for kids that want to do funny dancing videos and also older people that probably shouldn't be on it. I have become one of those older people that should not be on TikTok. A couple of days ago, I joined TikTok, and I still don't really know what TikTok is, but I put up the videos that I've been doing on Twitter and Instagram for the last wee while of me just singing and dancing when I go out from a daily walk. And what I really like about TikTok is people are well into it. So I'm obviously taking the piss and putting out these videos where I'm quite clearly badly singing and dancing, even though for a lot of yous it would be good. But I can sing and dance far better than that. I actually used to go to Pineapple Dance Studios, but see, that's another thing I hate about fucking TikTok. As soon as you open it up, it's really loud. I mean, that's why I'm at an age where I shouldn't be on it. It's too loud when you open it. So I just put up videos of me dancing, and most people know, hey, this guy, he's taking the piss, not to be taken too seriously. Somebody says so then I realized it's all about hashtags on TikTok. So I put up a video yesterday of me dancing and a hashtag K-pop, like so Korean pop. BTS, who are the number one Korean pop band. Hashtag dancer, hashtag acapella, hashtag riverdance. Now, none of those hashtags are relevant to what I'm doing. 4 comments on the post. 1, why do you tag BTS and K-pop? This guy is fucking pissed. His name is Chim Chim. Okay? And Chim Chim, I can see from his account, big fan of BTS, as am I. Why you tag BTS and K-pop? By the way, that comment got 5 likes. I liked it as well. Someone underneath it, Aisha, says, why do you tag K-pop and BTS? 14 people like that. So I'm now thinking that people on TikTok get really offended at things. Like, why can't I, if I want to be a Korean boy band dancer singer, why can't I be? Don't shoot down my dreams. I mean, this is children, basically. You're interacting with children. Louise writes, whoa, nature is beautiful. Hold on, did I go to focus in the video there? Yeah. Louise writes, whoa, nature is beautiful. Somebody else writes, take it you're from the UK? Well, it's controversial on that, but I mean, what I enjoy about that is people are just really getting into it. So why don't I put up another one of those singing dancing videos, and we'll see if we can put up hashtags that are really, really going to get people like interacting with the post. Right, I've got another one here. It's me singing Boyzone. So yeah, I'm singing and dancing out in nature. You've probably seen these on my Twitter and Instagram. So I'm gonna put up a post, and I'm gonna say nature is beautiful. That girl is like, whoa, nature is beautiful. In fact, I'll just write that exact thing. Whoa, nature is beautiful. Oh, this is so funny to me. And I'm going to say hashtag Harry Styles. Hashtag Harry Styles. Yep, there's 3.2 billion viewed videos with that hashtag. Hashtag Harry Styles. Hashtag BTS. I mean, every time I'm going to hashtag BTS. Just so their fans are like, why have you done this? And my answer will always be the same. Wanted to. Hashtag. Who else are like people really... Taylor Swift. Hashtag Taylor Swift. Hashtag... Hashtag Arlene Foster. For sure. What else are we doing here? Hashtag Arlene Foster. Hashtag Obama. Okay, so let's fire that up. As the comments come in on that, I mean, they might not. As the comments come in on that, I'll update you. We'll keep an eye on this post as the day goes on. So I posted that. Whoa. Hold on. See, it's weird. I don't really know what. Maybe I'll stick up some stand-up clips on it. I don't know. I wrote, whoa, nature is beautiful. Hashtag Harry Styles. Hashtag BTS. Hashtag Taylor Swift. Hashtag Arlene Foster. Hashtag Barack Obama. And we'll see what happens with that as we go on. But here's what I think of TikTok. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. Whenever I say like it's for weirdos, I'm obviously only joking, although there probably is a lot of weirdos on it. If you have fun doing it, do it, man. Don't let anyone tell you can't do something. But it is weird. Jack Graham says Brexit. I'm not gonna. No. we don't really talk about Brexit anymore, do we? I mean, it just kind of is. It's just it's away now. I don't know. Are we still in the European Union or we're not? I've no idea, but I'm not really interested in talking about Brexit. I think when we're allowed to do stand up again, when the boys are all allowed to play, I think that I won't do any stand up about coronavirus or lockdown. I think it's like Brexit. It's going to be one of those things where it's like, look, let's just talk about anything else. Ben says, "How's your garden coming along, mucker?" Good question. There hasn't been many. Oh, I fucked up at one point. I really fucked up. Here's what I've done. By the way, I need to do one last coat of medium oak Ron Seal paint. They're not sponsoring the podcast. Don't know why I said that like that. I need to do one more coat to my fence, and then the majority of my fence is going to be done. But I fucked up because I put down weed killer on the lawn, like lawn weed killer, and I put too much of it on. I got carried away, right? Really lost it on myself. But I have infected grass, right? I have that grass that spreads. It's gross. It's like we roots almost, right? It's like we roots, and I pulled some of it out, and it basically pulls loads out, but then it leaves a big patch in my grass. So I don't know whether to pull it out and have patchy grass or leave it in and have infected grass. Help! What should I do? I don't know what to do. I don't want a patchy garden. I don't want an infected garden. Watch this space. I'll maybe seek real gardening advice. Let's figure out what's happening. But my garden it's okay, mucker, but it could be better. Ruben Russell says, "What are your thoughts on tea granules? Not to be confused with loose leaf. I guess they're teas answered instant coffee. Personally, I wouldn't let them grace my kitchen." Yes, by the way, some likes coming in on that TikTok video. I'm new to TikTok, so if you have it, follow me. So, loose leaf tea or tea granules, I don't know. Is that what is it when people do a teapot with a wee like net thing, like a wee mesh net, and they pour? Do they pour granules into that, or is that loose leaf? I don't know. I don't know what tea granules are. I mean, it makes perfect sense the way you say it's like instant coffee. I get it. You probably just stir it in. That sounds terrible. And I can understand instant coffee when you couldn't be bothered, like, I don't know, brewing up coffee or doing a cafetiere or a pod machine. But who doesn't have time to dip a bag a couple of times? You're too busy to dip a bag? Fuck's sake. Yeah, I mean, dip, bin. By the way, I don't dip 3 times. I dip 15 times. But, yeah, Ruben, they don't sound like they'd be welcome on the podcast, granules. You know, they just sound bitty. You know, no, I don't like the sound of that. Clara Gallagher says, "Have you watched Gino, Fred and Gordon's road trip? If so, what lads, in inverted commas, would you take on food tasting or an activities road trip? Who would drive, who's shotgun, who's in the back seat, and where would your destination be of choice?" I haven't seen that, so it's Gino DeCampo, Gordon Ramsay and Big Fred from First Dates, the sexy bastard. And yeah, they go on believe it or not, on their road trip. I believe they go on a road trip. Dave Elliott is obsessed with this program and he tells me it's the best thing on television. I will watch it at some point, but at the minute we're watching Money Heist. Just watched Quiz about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which was brilliant. Michael Sheen as Chris Tarrant was great. Oh my, Chris Tarrant, you're down to the last quiz. I mean, that's not good, but Michael Sheen's is. So the Gordon and Gino thing, I will watch it at some point, and I like the sound of it. It sounds like fun and easy watching. Gordon, fuck me, mate. What are you doing? By the way, I'm way better at it. I did Christian Bale there. Remember he had a meltdown in the Terminator set? What are you doing? I got confused. Let me try Ramsey again. Although I need my hands for it usually. Big boy, okay? Yes, what the fuck are you doing? Nah, I fucked it. I really wish I hadn't done that. If I had to do something like that, first of all, I would love to do something like that, but all comedians just want to do a road trip type thing. I've pitched so many of them and always been told no. But I think me, Dave, if we're doing comedians and there's 3 of us, I think it's me, Dave, and Aaron Butler. That would be a lot of fun. We could definitely do something. Plus, we have 3 very different personalities. Like, Dave is a grumpy bear quite a lot of the times. Dave's either in brilliant form or he's a grumpy bear, especially when he needs a poo, right? He gets in really, really bad form until he gets to do one. So we have three different personalities. Aaron is likes to dance to Michael Jackson in his garden, and only got his first pair of jeans about 2 years ago. So that is very interesting. I mean, that should be its own program. And then I am very, I don't know what the word is, but like on a road trip, I think I could be quite annoying. I like to make sure people are always having a good time, and that can get annoying. I'm like, are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourself? So maybe we could go to, why, you know what? Let's just do Route 66. Why don't we do that? I kicked the camera and changed the angle, but it's fine. We could either do Route 66 or go interrailing. I think that would be fun. I never went to interrailing, and I don't think Dave and Aaron didn't either. So maybe we could have that trip again when we're too old for it. You know what I mean? That might be enjoyable. So yeah, we would do that. Who would be front? Who'd be passenger? Who'd drive? Who'd be in the back? I would drive because I'm the best driver out of the three of us. Although I'd say the other two would also claim to be the best drivers, but they're not. Dave would be in the back because he likes to spread out. He likes to nap quite a bit as well. So I think he'd lie in the back and really just spread out and maybe get a sleep in. And Aaron's always happy to be shotgun. And me and him would sing a lot of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So I mean, it'd be a good trip for us. I don't know about for the viewers, but it'd be fun for us. Yeah, that message is absolutely nothing to do with tea with me. Yeah, so a lot of people getting in touch with me and going, hey man, I didn't know you had Crohn's. I also have it, so shout out to all my Crohn's brothers and sisters. Wee Musa says, do you ever worry about your teeth turning yellow from drinking too much tea? Personally, I'm worried sick about mine. Well, as we all know, I have great teeth. I have a very, very natural white smile, and my teeth are way better now because I've had extensive reshaping work done to them. But do I worry about them going yellow? No, because I'm a big brusher. I brush at least twice a day, quite a lot of the times 3. But I don't think tea would turn your teeth yellow, man. I think that would just be from like Monster Munch and all that, which I don't eat. I think tea would turn your teeth brown, and that might be fun. That'll be a bit of fun. So I drink tea and then I start drinking red wine, so that's brown and purple. So I'd probably be like a shady purple type color. I don't know. I'm okay. I think you get to the age where you just go, fuck it, this is the way it is now. Like sometimes I see pensioners on TV that I've never seen before, and they have really crooked teeth, and I go, why would you not just get those fixed? And then I go, because you're 87. And I had was it reflux there? I don't know what it was, but my throat made a noise. Daniel Houston says, if you could compare yourself with any animal, which animal would it be and why? Tough question. I would definitely, a lot of people do know me as the money toad anyway, so I think I have a lot in common with the toad, not just because my name is similar. Like, a lot of the time I'm just chilling on the lily pad, which is my house. I like to chill on the lily pad. I do have a really, really long tongue. Not long, but really wide. It's weird. I would put my tongue out for you, but people will isolate that as a separate clip, and they'll what they'll do is they'll edit the podcast to make it look like I've gone. Whenever I was 22, I had a girlfriend who was in P6, and then they'll cut to me, a close up of me with my tongue out. So that's why I'm not going to do that. But yeah, probably a toad or like a gabbon. Is that what they're called? A gabbon? Gabon? Gabbon? It's like a wee monkey type thing. No, it's not. Gabon monkey. Do these not exist? Yeah. Gabon Talapoin. Fuck, I don't know. I'm no Attenborough, right? But basically, I would be like a cute wee monkey, like a wee chimp type thing, because I'm just cute. People would like to hug me, but I don't let people hug me that don't know me. This has happened after a few gigs sometimes. Can I give you a hug? No. Why? Because I don't know you and you're a 57-year-old man and you're not wearing trousers. But yeah, I think I'd be some sort of cute cute but vicious thing, because everybody knows, if you step to me, I will scrab you. So yeah, maybe like a koala. A koala, cute. People love them. Really popular. But if you get close enough, I could rip your stomach out. So probably something like that. Jamie says, if you woke up tomorrow and fluently knew a second language, which one would you choose? And what situation could you find yourself in that it would prove most useful? I mean, I guess if I was in the country where they spoke that language, if I spoke Spanish, I could find myself in a situation that would be useful, would be being in Spain, because I would then be able to speak their language. By the way, shout out to my blue Nike tracksuit bottoms that a lot of people watching probably didn't think I was wearing, but I am. If I could wake up fluent in another language, probably Mandarin, maybe something like that, because that would be fun to just like ring friends and family and just start going into fluent Mandarin. And it's also a language I don't really know anything about. Let me just see what English to Mandarin. Let's see what Tea With Me podcast is in Mandarin. English to Mandarin. Yep. Okay. Tea With Me podcast. That would translate, before I hit how it sounds, as Hiwoiki Hichabok. Now I've had a stab at that without knowing any Mandarin. Here, I'll play it.
和我一起喝茶播客
Hiwoiki Shaboka.
和我一起喝茶播客
Hiwoishi Chaboka. Tea With Me podcast. So let me see. Listen to Tea With Me podcast. So if you know anyone that's Mandarin, or if you live in Mandarinia, I want you to go up to people and say, Ting Hiwo Kuiwa Chahaboka.
听和我一起喝茶播客
Hiwoichi Shinsen Shababoka. Tea With Me. Respectful. That's what that is. Respectful. Because I've done my best there. But I don't know if I'm fluent yet. So yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe to learn Mandarin or Latin, because it's extinct, but you'd still have a few like people that probably still speak it. Like older Italian people, I'm not too sure, but I am sure that Pompeii, that volcano cloud and stuff, really sly. Really, really sly. Someone's asking me to get Francis Higgins, the Viper, onto the podcast because I got Owen Colgan on last week. Yeah, I'll certainly ask. I've met him before. Very pleasant guy. I think he'd be a good podcast guest, so we'll try. Adam Black says, big question, mate, are you wearing a girl's hoodie? This is the Instagram story I put up asking for questions. I wasn't at the time, but I have worn girls' hoodies before. I would do it again in the future. My style transcends gender when it comes to fashion. I have worn stuff that, yes, is found in, if you want to call it the woman section, you can, because that is what it's called. But I'm not worried about that. The hoodie you saw me wear was a Nike hoodie that I got given because everyone knows I got that big Nike hookup from my man Stevie. Just gave me like loads and loads of Nike gear. So whenever you're getting free premium Nike gear, you don't worry about what the gender of it. Like if he'd given me a Nike sports bra, I'd have worn it because he gave me it. So I don't think it matters what it is, and I would say that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So next time you're wearing your mum's pants and bra, I'll make sure the cameras are there. Alright, so no, I wasn't, but yes, I would. Matthew Mernon says, hey man, talk about alcohol-free beer. And what Matthew Mernon has done there, the vindictive little bitch, is sent a picture of a sketch I did during the week, Matewiser, where we did like a lockdown drinking beer sketch. And yes, in it, I'm supposed to be drinking a can of beer, but as that little hawk-eyed bitch has shown me here, I am drinking alcohol-free beer in it, but I'm trying to hide it with my fingers, and I thought I'd be able to because I have very long fingers, but I've done a bad job of it, so fuck you, Matthew Mernon. Yes, that is true. I don't drink beer. Why? Because I do not consume gluten. Why? Religious reasons. It doesn't align with my beliefs. No, I just gluten just doesn't really agree with me. So, oh yeah. Right, so we have non-alcoholic beers in the house because sometimes when a pal calls over, You know, say friends of ours come over and one of them's driving. You want to be able to say, listen, there's a couple of alcohol-free beers there if you want one, a few wee tins. It's nice to be able to, see what I mean? Always taking care of people, making sure people are having a good time. So they're in the house. I don't have any beers because I don't consume gluten because of our Lord. Because of our Lord Dale Winton, right? So yes, Matthew, I did my best. All right, mate, I didn't have beers, but I improvised. I do have a lot of cider in the house. I don't really... This doesn't answer your question. Fuck you, right? This doesn't answer your question. I'll leave that there. But I love the idea, especially in lockdown, of at the weekend having a few drinks, going on a session, getting blitzed in the house. I never nowadays have more than one drink. Sometimes I'll have a second glass of wine every now and again. But I always have like cider in the fridge, and I'm like, yes, mate, and all. And then I have one, and I go, let's have water now. You know, I don't know what I like the idea of drinking now way more than I like drinking. So the big pint monsters days might be numbered on the drinking game. I don't know, but Matthew, thanks for your question. Go fuck yourself. Jerry Morgan, by the way, one of the finest drummers in the land. Okay, this man has drummed, and I don't even need to look at his profile to know this because I know Jerry. Jerry's drummed for, I think, Niall Horan, James Bay. All right, loads of JC Stewart, who I've had on the podcast, top musical acts, and he's a fine drummer. Rumpa-pum-pump. Jerry says, why can't we sanction a 2 meter social isolation rule against horseflies? I woke up with a fucker of a sting between my eyes. Also, if you could be a stinging insect, what would you be and why? Or would you just be a fucking hippie butterfly? Just a thought. Butterflies are definitely hippies, aren't they? Like, butterflies serve no purpose. They're not trying to like eat any other animals. They're not trying to fuck about. They're just happy to float around. And yeah, they'd be like, they would, if butterflies could shop, they would go to Fresh Garbage in Belfast for sure. Hippie Central. So I think horseflies. Yeah, I don't even know what those are. Half horse, half fly. I'm guessing. But like, they're flies with the head of a full-sized head of a horse. No, I don't know, man. I'm sorry to hear that you got stung up. But I would like to be a mosquito because they get a lot of respect. Like, people are really scared of them because of the damage they can do. But I would be a dead-on mosquito, and I'd be saying to the rest of the lads, like, here, don't be stinging anybody, you know. But I'd still be buzzing about, traveling, enjoying myself. But I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would be a mosquito that lives in the third world, but then I would start spreading a message of, let's fly, not sting. You know, let's just fly for the crack, and we don't need to sting people because it's sly. Or they don't sting, they suck the blood. But I would, I would befriend a hippie butterfly who could make me like a vegan blood. You know, like Kazabi and all the alternative stuff. So I would just be like, lads, we don't need to suck the blood of children and old people and all that and make them sick. Here's what we can do. Buy pints of this, and I would just be well, there wouldn't be pints because they're so small. It'd be a thimble of vegan blood, artisan vegan blood, with a blueberry compote, something like that. Connell Sweeney says, can you take requests for skits, like sketches? Yeah, kind of, but I probably won't. I don't mean that in a sly way, but I'm always, but not to continue from the mosquito theme, I'm always buzzing about with ideas. So I don't know if it was a good idea, go, yeah, sounds interesting, maybe I'll do it, I'll give you a credit for it. But you know, probably not. And I don't mean that in an offensive way, but I don't know. Am I open to ideas for sketches? No, but I'll tell you what I will do. If anyone's like, here, I'm thinking about doing this sketch, what do you think of this? I'll tell you if I think it's good or not, always. Michael? Oh, right, okay. This is not... Yeah, that's not... I'm going to take a screenshot of that so that I definitely reply to it. It's not podcast related, but it is football related, so I'm always there to entertain it. Bean gets in touch and says, talk about prank calls, please. Man, I used to do so many prank calls whenever I was a kid. Oh my god. Yeah, that's bad though. You know, but also I think loads of adults you would do it to would know, and they're like, oh yeah, dead on, playing along. But me and this guy I went to school with, we used to pretend we had a micro scooter company, John Mills micro scooters. I think he came up with that, and I don't know why the name John Mills. We didn't know anyone called John Mills, and he used to try and sell micro scooters to people over the phone. I mean, he wasn't taking credit card details, but he was like talking about all the features of the microscooter. This sounds like such shit banter, but at the time it was quite funny. I have a friend who did a prank phone call once whenever we were like 14, 15, and it backfired massively. He phoned a random number, and like basically said to someone like, "We know where you live and all." Now that was not. This guy was never normally doing calls like that. He must have just had like an extra can of Lilt or Fanta Exotic and just lost the run of himself. By the way, I'm saying this as if like I think it's gonna go like someone's gonna go to jail. I wasn't there. Okay, I just heard about it. And then he'd actually phoned an off-duty undercover police officer's house, and the police like showed up about a week later to his house and were like, "What's happening here?" And he was like, "Oh no." His parents were like, "Oh, he's just a child. Like, he didn't mean to do this." And he nearly got into so much shit. So I haven't done prank phone calls since then. Apart from the Boytown podcast where we do them pretty much every week. But they're just silly. You can see loads of those on Facebook, Boytown Podcast. You can check all those out. I need to hit record on the camera again. There we go, we're back. But yeah, prank phone calls are sometimes funny, but like not if you're ringing the same person loads or whatever. Don't be doing them, right? Don't be doing them. Connell says, he sends me a picture of a newspaper headline, says, Mike Tyson reportedly offered a zookeeper $9,000 to let him fight a huge silverback gorilla during a romantic night out with his ex. Yeah, I can believe that Tyson would have done that. And you know what? I don't know if I could call who would win that fight. I mean, you'd like to think a huge silverback gorilla would beat the fuck out of any human. But Tyson back then, like if he was in his early mid-20s, I don't know, it's good. And do they have ears? Do gorillas have ears? Because, you know, chances are Mike would be leaving that cage with a knockout and also an ear, you know, which would be pretty sly. I saw a video once. This is really going back to when I was about 16, where some lads got into Belfast Zoo at night and they were on a tree. This guy climbed a tree and he was filming with an old Nokia phone. That's how long ago it was. Over an enclosure of like fucking lions or tigers or something. And he wasn't like that close, but he was still over the pen just a little bit. And I remember at the time like having serious scaredness about, you know, like anxiety about that, like temporarily about that, and going, oh my god, that's not fun, you know. And if anyone knows more about that, tell me, because I'm pretty sure everyone got that infrareded to their phones. Oh man, that really freaked me out. I just thought about that again and I really hated it. Heather says, what are the worst ideas or new hobbies you've seen people take up since quarantine started? I was sick of hearing people talk about making banana breads until I myself started making banana breads, and I've absolutely killed it. So probably that. I'm making banana bread now. I've got the usual mix, and I read the package and I see what it tells me to use, and then I go, fuck that. This is going to be my own signature dish. I've started putting blueberries, raisins, and raisins in it, and also don't say this too loud, but I've started crumbling up a hobnob and putting it over the top of the mix for a wee crunchy top. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm knocking it out of the park, but yeah, people definitely are doing weird things. Kevin said, how much are pints attendance in the student bar of Queen's these days? Man, I don't know. I think they knocked that down, dude. That Queen's Student Union, I don't know. I don't think I've ever ordered attendance in my life. But I'd imagine, like, I feel like back in the day, a pint attendance, whenever I was about 16, 17, was like, you know, 88p. And I think now it can't be much more than that. I have no idea. Also, if Tenants want to sponsor this podcast, get in touch, because you can do. I don't even know how much a pint... I don't know how much a pint is these days, because I never go out drinking by myself, because I'm not really that into drinking. So the odd time I do go out drinking, it's in a big group, and I'm a round getter. You know the way some people ditch the round? Oh, I need to make a phone call. I make sure I get my round. I mean, I only buy one round. That's what I do. If you buy the first round, people in their heads go, he's already bought one. And they keep going, is it your round? And I go, no, sure, I got one. And they go, oh yeah. But they only associate you with the first one. So I do buy a round, but only the first one of 50. So I have no idea how much a pint is, because you're usually going out in groups of, six, 700. So I have no idea how much pints are these days. Ronan says, what kind of jobs did you have before comedy, and what was your worst experience with a customer, if you have one? Let me try and get these right. I've been a dishwasher, a kitchen porter, a waiter. I worked for a magazine. Is that it? I worked in a call center. Call center was my main one. I worked there for a couple of years. Was my worst experience with a customer. Don't know if I had anything terrible that stands out. Obviously, when you work in a call center, you don't need me to tell you, you get so much shit. Because especially we were cold calling people. We were like phoning out to people who hadn't been asked to be phoned, and that was horrific when I look back on it, because like I would just hang up on cold callers now and be like, no, sorry, thank you, hang up, don't phone me again, hang up. But it's the people who wanted to keep you on, to give you abuse, that was mad. Like, it never, because I did stand up then, you're getting heckled on stage, so someone over the phone miles away isn't going to affect you. But there was definitely people who were like threatening you. I remember one guy said he was going to come and kill me, and I was like, sly mate, I'm just asking if you take a book of raffle tickets. Overreaction. But there was nothing really too bad. I worked as a waiter for a while, like a short while. I was a dishwasher there mainly, but in Cultural Yacht Club in the restaurant. And I didn't have a bad customer experience, but I was so shit as a waiter. Oh my God. The woman showing me how to do the job went, so here's the thing, you just get loads of plates from people, and then you just scrape it all on the one plate that's on the end of your hand, and you keep all them on the flat of your arm. And she had like 9 plates at a time. I never got past 2 plates. I had 2 hands, so I took 2 plates, and I was never going to get better at it. And then they said, you want to go back to being a kitchen porter? And I said, yes, please. Seb says, you're such a good comedian. Please make Keith Cruz Summer Soccer School Part 2. First of all, thank you for the compliment. I concur. I fully agree. And yeah, I'm thinking about making a Keith Cruz lockdown football summer school video for the kids. Like the sort of thing you can do in your back garden. But I need to have a bit of a think about it. I'll think how to work that out, because I'm sure I can. So I will, Seb, and thanks for enjoying the videos. I appreciate it. Daniel Hackett says, have you seen the Nolan Inside Hidebank show? Get all over it. Good few laughs all around. No, but I've heard a lot about it, and I think what we should do is probably talk about it on the next podcast that I'm doing by myself. So Stephen Nolan has gone into Hidebank Young Offenders Centre to like interview like inmates and stuff like that, and my mate sent me the first 30 seconds of it, and hey, those guys are so sly. Those guys are giving Nolan so much abuse, and then this guard in the back goes, alright lads, knock on the head there. So this is something I definitely want to watch. I've seen a lot on social media about it, people talking about, oh, you have to watch it. So I will, and we'll talk about that next week, Daniel. That is not a podcast question. That's somebody asking me to do something for money, and that makes me happy, because I like money, and I don't make money because there's no stand up, and there's not gonna be for 50 years. But it'll be sweet. It'll be definitely sweet. Guys, that was your listeners' questions. Thanks very much for everybody that sent those in. I appreciate it. We do listeners' questions on the solo episodes, not always with the guests. But I tell you what, if you made it this far on the podcast, congratulations. If you want to send over some questions for my interview with Jamie Lee O'Donnell from Dairy Girls, that's going to be in next week's podcast, do it at teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. So send them over to there. We'll get those together, and we'll maybe do some of those. And the Patreons, for sure, send us your questions, because the Patreons get like the velvet rope lifted up, and they go through to the VIP. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. But if you want to do, final plug for Patreon, patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. The community rescue that we talked about in the middle of the podcast, go check out their website and see the great work they're doing. If you can make a small donation, that would be brilliant. Let me one more time say yes to the NHS staff and everybody that's still out working, providing key work. massive amount of respect for you, and keep doing what you're doing, because you forget that we rely on so many people. We really do. We need people to be packaging food for us. We need people to be working in customer service. So when we go to the supermarkets, people are on the tills, stacking the shelves, all that, and it's phenomenal that so many people are, especially health staff, frontline workers, are just out there being heroes. So a massive cheers of my teacup to you guys. To everyone that's listened and watched, I appreciate it. If you just listen and you want to see the video version, see me in all my glory, and check out my blue Nike tracksuit bottoms, that's on YouTube, Shane Todd Team Me Podcast. You'll find it. And if you just watch the video version, you want to hear the audio one to have on your headphones or take with you on your commute to work, or when you go around your uncle's house to play darts, whatever it is, after lockdown. By the way, don't be doing that now. That's it's everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, it's there, mate. Tea with Me Podcast. If you want to subscribe and rate and review the podcast, that'd be really, really class. Got loads of good guests coming up. Loads of good guests. Have asked a recent guest, I'll just give you a clue, Mountain Guys, to come and do another episode, because we had a lot of fun. So we'll see what the crack with that is. But as always, I'm buzzing about this podcast. I'm having a great time doing it. Bringing you 3 episodes a week. And it's great for me, because it's keeping me on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? It's keeping me having something to do, like a real purpose of like, no, we've got to get this out. We've got to get this out, because I have 3 listeners in Cameroon. And yeah, I appreciate it. Follow me on TikTok. Oh, do you want to just will we just check and see if we have any TikTok comments of people saying, why have you hashtagged BTS? It's going to be so sly if there's no comments on this. There's 2 comments. Louise Beckett says, Ronan Keating who is right, because I was singing a bit of Boyzone there, and I'm glad that you picked that up, and I'm glad that you have accepted that I'm a better singer than Ronan Keating. Well, we'll get Ronan on the pod. Let's do it. Let's get Ronan Keating on the podcast, guys. I'm in a great mood. I'm going to go and drink 7 more cups of tea before this day is out. I'm going to plan some more guests. I'm going to beg producer Dan to take me back, baby, come back with a bye, and we'll just drink tea. We'll be merry. I will see you I'll see you on Monday if you're a Patreon episode listener. Me and producer Dan will record an episode Sunday. I'll see you on Wednesday. I'll see you on Friday, and we're just going to keep that going. I'm with yous. Yous are with me. We're drinking tea. That rhymes. And let's leave it there. This outro's been way too long, but it's a bit like having company again, that people that I haven't seen in ages, like you, the listeners, and I don't want to let you go. It's like when your postman comes around and he goes, can you sign for this? And I go, I'll sign for it, mate, if you stay here for 15 minutes and talk to me about anything. And then he's like, I'm going to have to file another complaint. And I go, actually, don't worry about it. I'll let you go about your business. Guys, sip, take it easy. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.